I think you're going into maybe a weirdly good situation 2 weeks from right now.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page right now. Why do you say that?
I think you're maybe because Indiana is going to be the story of that game.
Yes,
which
they
is
are.
sort of shocking.
Yes, it is.
Indiana is going to be the story of that game, and they're a little they there's a little bit of Signetti confidence, and there's a little bit, it's not completely there. It's a little bit of Colorado there. There's a little bit of Colorado. It's in crimson. It looks a little bit different, but there's a little bit of Colorado there. Yep. And I'll tell you what, 2 weeks from now, when I walk my dog in the morning before the Indiana game, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be a lot more pumped up than I was before Illinois, before I was where I was before Purdue, where I was today, because I kind of already am annoyed with Indiana in a way that I wasn't annoyed with any of those teams. And I think if I feel that way, I think the players are usually feeling at least a modicum of that too. And I think that's been part of the problem. I really think it is. I think they thrive on emotion. So, I don't know. We'll see it. We may watch that game and you'd be like, Jack, you're totally wrong. Or you go into the game and you're like, I don't really feel like that. But that's my gut reaction about what that game is going to feel like. I think Indiana's going to come in a little pretty high on themselves, and Nebraska is going to feel, I don't know what the line's going to be, but Nebraska is going to be made to feel like the disrespected underdog in that game. And I think they're going to take that to heart.
Couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. A couple people were wondering about the line, and you just mentioned it. I think Nebraska will be a dog. I think they're going to be a dog by about a field goal. Coming into the week, SP Plus, Bill Connolly's numbers had Nebraska as like the tiniest of tiny favorites, 0.2, but it's going to be on the road. And Indiana looked a little bit better, I think, than Nebraska did today. So they're going to be a favorite. Jack, Nebraska is going to be able to go on the road in a game where, like you said, Indiana is the story. And they are going to say, like, it's us against the world, but in the good way, not in the old Bo Pelini way.
I agree.
And, like,
I think that's how it's going to feel.
Like, dude, I think that you are onto something. And there's been a few other comments about that Colorado game and how it was like, and you won, shot their wad on Colorado. Dude, that game, there was another one that I want to read, if I can find it real fast, that it was, here it was from Alex. I think last year's CU result was pretty much the motivation of the entire offseason. You know, one of the things that I felt comfortable saying a lot this offseason was like the game was that fork in the road, T in the road moment because of what I was hearing about how important it was. And in a way, I do wonder if it's worked to their detriment because they came out, they played so well, and then they won comfortably. But it's like, Jack, it was the second game of the season. It's one thing if that's like game 12. If you have this long crescendo, Ohio State versus Michigan, for example, right? Like they're always thinking about each other, but there's 11 games before that. So you got to focus on every single one of those 11 games. And then it finally arrives, a couple days after Thanksgiving, and you can go after them. Nebraska's big moment came in week 2. And I think that there has been a hangover with them. 100%. And so this is a hell of a spot for this year's team because they get to get healthy. Whoever is hurt that can come back in 2 weeks, this is their great opportunity. And they're going to go on the road, and they are not going to be the story. Coach Siggs in Indiana, the Hoosiers, they're going to be a favorite. And that's the thing. Like Indiana all year, they've been favorites, but they haven't been a favorite in a game like this. And it's going to be, again, I mentioned them. They got Michigan coming into town. They got Ohio State coming into town. I like this, Jordan. So we're in the now what phase? 100%. And I think Indiana has been looking ahead to these other games. I think they're looking ahead. The fans are looking ahead to the Michigan game. And it's like, let's just get by Nebraska so we can welcome Michigan into town and give them what they've got coming towards them. But it's like, dude, look at all the weird shit that happened in the sport today. Look at all the teams that ruined 100%. Other teams' seasons. Nebraska could do that to Indiana in 2 weeks.
Josh, there are easy and there are hard motivational games. And good coaches do a good job during the hard motivational games. That said, I think this is going to be an easier motivational game than you think. And easier than any game since Colorado.
Yeah. I think you're right, too, about the way that you are going to feel about Indiana. I think that other people are going to feel the same way. I think people are going to be ready to be annoyed as hell.
He's going to say something. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, Coach Siggs. We got 2 weeks, baby. We got 2 weeks to go until that game.
Hey,
it's going to be fun.
Not talking about a loss. one game for bowl eligibility. I think that'll be something too. That's going to motivate him.
Yeah. Hey, if they
It's
win,
be a fun game. I can't wait.
I know a lot of people thought that they would or could certainly be 7-0. If they win that game, Jack, 6-1. I think most people, if you would have offered that contract to them before the year, say you're 6-1 going into Ohio State, people would have said, "Sign me up, sign me up." I don't think very many people would have said like, "No, I'd rather play my hand and hope for 7-0."
Hey,
so
I got vindicated for saying I wouldn't take 2-1.
You did, yeah. You're off to a good start. You're off to a good start there.